Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a much awaited banner. This is going to be the Ines Fujin horse alongside Mr.C.B Wit SSR and the Tokai Teio Stamina SR card. We'll start off with Ines Fujin first of all. This horse has a speed bonus of 15 and also a guts bonus of 15. She has aptitude A for surface, A for mile, medium A and long C, and her strategy is A for front and pace for C, with the rest of them being late of G and end of G. The thing about this horse is that you can ignore everything else besides front because her unique requires her to be in the front position. If we look at all charged, its go time, you can see that this horse has a slope requirement and also a remaining distance requirement of 300-ish meters, right? At around the 300-ish mark, and if you have a slope and you are in the first two positions, then you get 0.45 target speed for 5 seconds. But what if you don't have the slope? Then you only get 0.25 target speed. But the requirement is still the same. Must always be 300 meters away from the end, and you must always be in the first two positions, right? So this horse is usually going to only get finishing speed from this unique skill over here, which makes her very hard to fight other front runners. When you consider the meta game, which is S Maru and V Bourbon, and occasionally a Smart Falcon, right? You basically have horses that have very strong uniques to fight for the mid leg, right? When you fight for the mid leg and you hold the mid leg all the way to the end, what do? You win because you get angling and scheming, right? So this is basically a horse that cannot really fight the other stronger mid legs because her unique is a finishing speed skill. However, if she can get to the first place somehow, just by raw skills that you have pumped into her, right? And also very good wit procs and very good luck, right? You will be able to get a massive 0.45 finishing speed, which would basically secure your victory. The problem comes in that for a frontrunner, getting to the first place by the acceleration phase is their win con. If this horse is not able to even get there first, she is not going to be able to get this unique skill to even help her to go and win at the end of the run, right? For her innate skills, she also comes with Slipstream, Moxie, and with All My Soul, which is a speed debuff if you are in the more front positions, 1, 2, and 3. And then you also get a little bit of target speed for a base duration of 1.8 seconds. For awakening skills, she comes with Tokyo Racecourse, which is one of her better tracks because there is a slope for her. Restless for recovery if you need it, but honestly sometimes you don't really need it for the mediums. And then for Speed Eater, another speed debuff if you're in the front position. And also Wild Wind, which is the gold version, which also has a speed debuff on it. So theoretically, you could use this horse as a front runner, and as long as you maintain yourself in the first 3 positions, for the skills from her events, she also comes with a lot of front runner happy skills, play times over, dodging danger, early lead, front runner straightaways. So this is why she's mainly into a front position horse, right? So she basically, if you want to make her win, right, you need to pump her full of very, very strong mid-leg speed skills to compensate for the fact that her unique is not a mid-leg speed skill. You need to hunt manually for the other important skills as per usual, like your groundworks and so on and so forth. Since you do not come with it inbuilt, you also need to go and find, for example, your position sense for the other part of your dodging danger. Please do not buy position skills if you only have 1 of them. Only buy if you have 2 of them, because you need to go out and then you need to go back in to get a massive speed boost, right? So it's a very still hard horse to go and grind for, right? So that's the understanding here for this Ines Fujin horse over here. Now, moving on, we have the more awaited card, which is the Mr.C.B Wit card. So I've received a few questions about Mr.C.B from Ko-fi messages and also some of the chats that I've been in on Discord. Basically, Mr.C.B, some people ask, do I want to get her 1 limit break, or do I get her at 3 limit break, or do I want to just go all in on her? Do I need to pair her with another wit card? Is she a very strong wit card by herself? These are very, very common questions. I want to try to answer all of them here if possible. So for Mr.C.B, the reason why you will hear people say that it's usable at 1 limit break is because these people have another main wit card. Okay, a main wit card. The main wit cards of our era is Nice Nature, Fine Motion, and even then Nice Nature is not even close to the level of Fine Motion. It's almost there, but like not really there, right? So Fine Motion is usually the accompanying card to this card over here. This card cannot replace Fine Motion as a full-on wit card because this card cannot pump out the wit that the Fine Motion card can, especially not at 1 limit break. At 1 limit break, this card only gets a +1 Wit bonus with a friendship bonus of 26% and a training effectiveness of 5% and a spec priority of 40, right? This card does have a very nice unique effect, however, at this level. At 1 limit break, the unique effect is going to give you another +1 Wit bonus on top of the Wit bonus that you got from your 1 limit break, and also skill point bonus once the bond gauge is 80. That skill point bonus is a very, very important thing to take note of, because it is very hard to find good skill point bonus cards like this. For this card, essentially it comes with 2 Wit bonus, 1 skill point bonus, and 1 speed bonus at 1 limit break, making it very, very solid. But that's not the main point of the card. The main point of the card is that it also has hint level 2, and also has a very, very solid hint frequency of 33% at this level, of course, right? A lot of other cards, they only get all this stuff near the end of the card's power level, right? At 3LB, MLB. But the card also gives very, very good skills. Straightaway spurt, tail held high, medium corners, home stretch. No one really screams for home stretch, but whatever. The main selling point is daring strike at the end of all of this. Daring Strike is a very, very important end closer skill. Beforehand, we had to get it from Admire Vega Power card, which was not really the most ideal card to slap in if you wanted to go and grind more skill points with your very, very strong 15% race bonus power cards. So this is a much more budget-friendly and easier way, and it's also a Wit card, which is very preferable to click. I would rather click Wit rather than click Power, because Wit at least gives me energy back. That is something that will always stay the same and relevant for a very, very long time. Especially once we get out of Mant, once we go to Grand Life, for example, you only click rainbows. I rather have a Wit rainbow than a Power rainbow, because I need energy for future rainbow clicks. Just as simple as that, right? So this card here, it is going to scale very, very well and will be used for maybe 3 or 4-ish scenarios, because Daring Strike is just very, very valuable. Notably for horses who also don't come with straightaway spurt inbuilt, for example, Ghost Ship, right? You can go and get the straightaway spurt from this card as a +1 option, which is very, very solid for her, right? So at 1 limit break, you will use this as a skill stick, but you must pair it with another strong Wit card to give you the rest of the Wit. Then what about if I were to get this to 3 limit break or higher, MooMooCows? Is that worth it? At 3 limit break, the things that would change for this card is that the spec priority would hit its maximum. It would be spec priority of 50, making it a little bit more consistent, and you have a friendship bonus of 28%. That's only 2% off from the 30% at MLB, and you also get a mood effect of 15%, which is something, not really the most important part of the card, right? But the main thing to really go and pump this card for is that spec priority. Getting more frequent rainbows with a possible chance of the Fine Motion or Nice Nature stacking on top of that is going to be extremely valuable for your consistency in the run. So 3LB will make the card more consistent and also give you friendship bonus for more fatter rainbows. So if you do want this card to give you stronger rainbows for more Wit, because you're only going to run 1 major Wit card, and if you run 1 major Wit card with a 1LB Mr.C.B, the Wit will not be crazy high all the time, right? It will rely a lot on the RNG of the cards, right? At least at 3LB or higher, you will get a little bit of a consistency boost. Although sometimes if you hit, you hit, and sometimes if you don't hit, you don't hit. That's just how it is, right? With Umamusume. So this is the understanding, okay, for whether you want to 1LB this card or you want to 3LB this card. You can use this at 1 limit break, but make sure you understand that the Wit output at 1 limit break is really quite damn shit, right? At least at 3 limit break, you are a bit more consistent, so the Wit output is going to be a little bit better compared to last time. So if you can, try to get it 3 limit break, but if you only want to use this just to get Daring Strikes for your horses, feel free to only get it at 1 limit break and save yourself some gems for the future. There will also be another rerun of this banner later alongside Super Creek, which will also be another time for you to try and get the MLB of this card, although honestly by that point we are too close to Ramonu already, and during the La'ak scenario you will only be running Mejiro Ramonu. You will not be running Mr.C.B at all at that point, right? So this is the understanding for Mr.C.B. I hope that this is a message that you take in very, very carefully. Moving on, we have the Tokai Teio stamina card. This card, if you, while pulling this banner, get it, you shouldn't be too mad about it, because this card is actually a very, very solid stamina card for those of you who really don't have any other sources of stamina. Things that this card has is that it gives you initial stamina and guts at the start, which is very valuable, really very valuable, right? Also has a race bonus of 10% and training effectiveness of 10%. The rainbows are quite small, however, because it's a friendship bonus of 20%, and it also has a skill point bonus of 1 and a starting board of 20. One thing that this card lacks is specialty priority. So this card is basically similar to Haru Urara as a stamina card. I will give you a bunch of stats, and then I will give you a bunch of TE, and I'll give you the race bonus, and I'll give you skill point bonus for whenever you want to click me, which always works no matter where I am, right? So this is a friendship card, essentially, right? If you scroll down, you also can get some very, very good skills, because this card is also like a friendship card that also gives you lots of good skills, right? You can get your Nimble Navigator, and then other than that, you get nothing. You can get Prudent Positioning. That's the other very important one. You can get Prudent Positioning and Nimble Navigator as two possible skills from the support hints, and then from the events you can get Medium Corners or possibly a Pace Chaser Straightaways, although that one is more rare. So having a source of Medium Corners and Prudent Position and Nimble Navigator usually makes this card into some sort of a parent card, right? But it can be used for those of you who do not really need that much stamina but do need another sort of friendship card. So if you do get it and you are a little bit poor or a new player coming back to Ment, you will enjoy this card a little bit. But later on, there will be much, much better SSRs, and as long as you can get a full deck of 6 SSRs, you essentially are just going to be able to poop out very, very powerful horses no matter what. Right, so yeah, this is the Tokai Teio card. Not the most ideal card to go and hunt for, but at the same time, if you do get it, I wouldn't be too mad about it, because it is a usable card during Make a New Track. Although do note, after Ment, this card is horrendous, because there's no specialty priority on this card. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for this entire banner here. The main prize here is definitely going to be Mr.C.B. Mr.C.B at 1 limit break or 3 limit break is going to be what a lot of people will be aiming for, depending on what other horses or cards they are planning to be pulling during the entirety of Make a New Track. So yeah, I will also be joining you guys on stream for pulling of this banner. So if you do want to participate in the pulling stream here, please join the Discord and submit a ticket. You can go and participate along with the rest of them, and then we can all laugh or cry at each other's pulls while we are dumping all of our gems and praying for Mr.C.B to appear, right? At least it's only 1 LB for some people, which means that 200 pulls should mostly be enough. But the worst case scenario is that you go 400 pulls to get 1 limit break. Holy shit. If that happens, I'm going to be really, really sad about it. But alright, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Any other questions, feel free to go through the Discord community. They are very, very solid already at this game. At this point, they're probably better than me already at keeping track of stuff. Then you can also go through the Twitch or YouTube live streams. I'll try my best to answer. If there's too many of you, just rely on the chats to go and answer your questions. And then other than that, if you need a direct message to me, just go through the Ko-fi and pay me 10 bucks, because my time is too precious, sorry. Right, so yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time, and bye-bye.